Ladies and gentlemen, today we are looking at a bus assembled after America drank 3 coffees and said, "Why stop at one classic coach when 2 can confuse traffic?" This custom motorhome begins with the 1955 GMC Greyhound Scenicruiser underneath. Then there's a roof section crafted from a 1949 General American AeroCoach. And before we climb aboard, subscribe to the channel because machines like this do not appear every day. Most RVs ask for a parking space. Production ran from 1954 to 1956. 1,001 were completed, making each survivor a metal witness to the American road age. Greyhound wanted a coach that sold the dream of long-distance travel, big glass, high views, air conditioning, comfort, and enough presence to make the family sedan feel underdressed. America had highways stretching outward, cities growing, and bus companies fighting for passengers who could choose railroads, cars, or airplanes. The Scenicruiser's stepped roof and upper deck answered that market with one promise: sit higher, see farther, arrive like you know a senator. The custom machine in our story takes that Scenicruiser base and combines it with the upper structure from a 1949 AeroCoach. This was not a factory GMC model and not a Greyhound production option. It belongs to the world of custom motorhome building, where retired commercial coaches became private road palaces for people who looked at a normal camper and said, "Cute, but where is the second bus?" In practical terms, it appears to be a one-off or extremely rare custom conversion, and that is why people stare at it the way Timmy stares at a carburetor before tightening the wrong thing with confidence. Technically, the original PD-4501 was a serious piece of American engineering. It measured 40 feet long, or 12 meters, with a width of 96 inches, or 2 meters, and a height of about 134 inches, which is 11 feet 2 inches, or 3 meters. The wheelbase was 261 inches, equal to 21 feet 9 inches. It carried passengers on 2 levels, 10 seats in the lower front section and 33 upstairs, for 43 total, with a restroom underfloor baggage space and a profile that could make a motel sign feel underdressed. Under the rear, early Scenicruisers used 2 GM diesel 4-71 inline-4 2-stroke diesel engines, each about 284 cubic inches, or 5 liters, and commonly rated around 160 horsepower. Together they gave roughly 320 horsepower, because the proper V8 version of the Series 71 diesel was not ready for this job when production began. Power went through a 3-speed manual transmission and a 2-speed splitter, giving 6 forward ratios. In theory, that sounds clever. In practice, drivers had to learn a system that could make a calm professional mutter words normally saved for plumbing repairs. The Scenicruiser was a 3-axle coach with 10 wheels, 2 in front and dual wheels on both rear axles, though only one rear axle was driven. It had air ride suspension and air conditioning, both important for convincing passengers that cross-country travel did not have to feel like punishment by upholstery. It also carried around 344 cubic feet of luggage space, about 10 cubic meters, and a fuel tank, roughly 681 liters. The front door was about 26 inches or 66 centimeters wide, while the aisle was only about 14 inches or 36 centimeters, which meant walking through it was a polite negotiation with your own elbows. The original twin-engine system became the bus's famous headache. Losing one engine was not just a power problem. One side could support steering assistance or air conditioning, so failure could turn luxury travel into a warm sermon. The design philosophy of this 1955 GMC Greyhound Scenicruiser with a 1949 AeroCoach top is not subtle, and honestly that is why we love it. Some vehicles whisper elegance. The lower body brings that unmistakable Scenicruiser authority, tall sides, highway stance, huge windows, and the serious face of a coach built when America believed every road trip deserved chrome, luggage space, and a driver who knew how to shift without crying. The AeroCoach upper section adds a second layer of vintage drama, almost like someone gave the bus a captain's bridge. What makes the design fascinating is the clash between two different bus cultures. The Scenicruiser was the corporate dream machine created for Greyhound to make intercity travel look modern, comfortable, and almost glamorous. The AeroCoach, older and lighter in visual character, came from a more compact coach tradition. Put them together and the result feels like a rolling conversation between two eras of American transport. It is not perfectly harmonious in the polite museum sense, but it has the confidence of a man wearing cowboy boots with a tuxedo and somehow making everyone else look underdressed. Timmy once tried that at a wedding after 3 drinks and called it formal agriculture, so I understand the principle. As a motorhome idea, the hybrid makes strange but wonderful sense. A retired commercial coach already gives you length, height, baggage bays, heavy-duty structure, and road presence. Add an upper coach section, and suddenly you have the kind of interior volume that makes ordinary campers feel like they were designed by accountants, hiding from joy. You can imagine lounges, sleeping areas, panoramic windows, storage spaces, and enough room for a coffee maker that does not need to share counter space with a map, a wrench, and someone's elbow. Of course, every custom conversion also brings compromises. Weight, balance, roof ceiling, electrical routing, heating, cooling, and maintenance would all need careful work. Compared with standard RVs of the 1950s and 1960s, this machine belongs to another universe. A typical trailer or small motorhome gave families a practical way to sleep near a lake, argue over canned food, and pretend mosquitoes were part of the charm. This bus conversion aimed higher, literally and emotionally. It was closer to a private land yacht built from equipment that once carried paying passengers across serious distances. Against a normal AeroCoach, it gains size, muscle, and Greyhound mythology. Against modern luxury motorhomes, it lacks digital convenience, but it has something many new machines cannot download: genuine road soul. On the collector market, such a hybrid is difficult to compare because it is not a production model with a neat price guide. A stock Scenicruiser has a known historical identity, a known production total, and an enthusiast following.